Hello everyone, welcome back to my nature series. This is Kathy from House of TOEFL. Today we're going to be talking about the Jimson weed, which is known also by the name the devil's snare. I want to first give you today's vocabulary list. This vocabulary list will also be given in the description for this video, so don't worry if you don't catch all the words. Today's vocabulary list is notorious, exception, toxic, particularly, hallucination, ingest, noteworthy, derived, contested, narcotic, recurring, settlers, ingestion, suppress, blooms, fragrant, attract, domesticated and wild animals. What's the difference between the two? And tend. Okay, so you might be looking at this plant and saying, well, that's a pretty plant. How could it be called something like the devil's snare? Well, it gets this name because it's a member of the notorious nightshade family. Most members of this plant family are poisonous, and this weed is no exception. All parts of this plant are toxic, particularly the seeds. Potent amounts of alkaloid compounds are present, which could potentially cause convulsions or hallucinations, and even death if ingested. So the genus name of this plant is Datura, which comes from the Hindi word for plant. This is noteworthy because most botanical names are derived from Latin or Greek. But the origins of the name are contested. Some sources say that the origins of the plant are Mexico, and some say India. But now it is found in many cultural and medicinal traditions. It's used, for example, in Chinese medicine and Native American medicine. It has a hypnotic effect, and it is a narcotic. So I was quite intrigued by some of the common names I found recurring in plant books, and did a little research on the origins. And there's an interesting story about this plant, coming from the New World observation of the plants to settlers in the early Virginia colony. A more famous tale tells of the plant's accidental ingestion by some British soldiers that were sent to suppress a rebellion in 1676. They boiled some of this in a stew, and then they spent 11 days having hallucinations. They were kissing each other and touching each other and smiling like monkeys. So this weed is white with some purple on the flowers, as you can see. The blooms are fragrant at night, attracting moths and other nocturnal pollinators. However, the rest of this plant smells pretty bad. If you crush and sniff the leaves, you'll understand why both domesticated and wild animals avoid eating this plant. It actually kind of smells like feet. So accidental poisonings tend to be more common among humans than ordinary animals. Now, again, I just want to warn you that this weed is quite toxic. I was a little surprised to find it in a public space, now that I know how toxic it is. Don't worry, I don't intend to try it or even touch it. But that's how it got the name the devil's snare. If you don't know what a snare is, it's like a trap. It's something an animal gets caught in and then can't escape from. I'll put the word snare in the topic description as well of this video. You can add it to your vocab list. Okay, that's all for me from today about this very interesting weed. Again, this is Kathy from House of TOEFL, and my website is www.houseoftoefl.com. You can reach me there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I'll see you next time.